I am in a hole right now. I have found a red door. It says fire exit. I must investigate.
That's just a different entrance, but sure, I guess.
I thought Lethal Company would be a blip on our collective radar, and perhaps it has already faded in popularity, but I play games, so I guess it was inevitable I'd have to try out the next big internet trend. Lethal Company is a curious case where an indie game comes out of nowhere and takes over the internet for one reason or another, and we've seen a lot of games pop off this year. Lethal Company, Palworld, Helldivers 2, none of which are based on long franchises and massive IPs, but we're not here to talk Palworld and Helldivers, we're here for Lethal Company.
Oh! Oh, there's two of them.
Hey, buddy. Two of them? Hello. Oh, hi!
Oh, they got beer.
We found monsters. Kind of
Not monsters, they're friends.
They seem kind of chill.
They're apparently the most popular.
They're
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
They're flying at me!
You took one of their things!
I didn't touch them! They just came at me! They came after me! I don't like this.
Hey guys, you guys want to see something funny?
No.
Here, take this
No.
and that.
No.
Wait, not my walkie-talkies. Take the keys. Duck.
Oh no.
Oh, duck!
Oh no. Oh! Why? Let me ask you this. How in the world does a game created by one guy that looks like this manage to break out amidst the gaming landscape? Well, the answer is seemingly simple, but also requires some unpacking. Put simply, I believe it can be easily agreed that Lethal Company is popular because of the human dynamic. The game in and of itself has fun elements, but the game is more of a coating of paint over the human interaction, and its ability to draw out that human factor is why Lethal Company has blown up.
Yeah, if you have to ring the bell to get their attention.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Ring the bell.
Ready?
Oh, there's the bell. So, what do I mean by human factor? Well, put simply, this game allows for friends or even strangers to do two things. Either troll each other in a relatively harmless and yet brutal way, or enjoy the screams of your friends from somewhere on the other side of the wall.
Oh yeah.
A horror setting is such a brilliant choice for making people shine. As someone who does not enjoy horror in any genre, whether it comes to games, films, or TV shows, Lethal Company managed to create a setting that is, for the most part, safe to the people who hate horror. It's not overly gory, and it's not the most terrifying thing in the world. The simpler graphics lend it to being easier to approach. The goofy atmosphere and the presence of other people also result in a sense of security. Perhaps you don't know this, but everything is much less scary when you're with somebody else. Something about having another person around to share your experience, or else having a sacrificial lamb you can offer to the eldritch demons in the dark, is very comforting. Lethal Company is designed to have 4 people in a team working together to gather materials and bring them back to the ship for the company. Failure to do so means you all lose, and inevitably you will lose at some point. So, there is a built-in motivation to work together on that front of collecting materials so you can survive for longer. But, because having a friend around reduces the horror element, those who are more afraid can hang out with a friend, and that'll get them more acclimated to their new settings. Grace?
Oh!
Getting out! Another element of fear is the unknown, perhaps the most scary thing of all. Our imaginations will always be able to dream up a worse monster in our head than what actually exists. So when you're new to the game, everything is 10 times as terrifying as they really are. Many of the monsters are not even that scary once you know what they look like and how they work. That's not the case for all of them. Ah! I'm gone!
Oh boy.
But it'll get your foot in the door. Being accessible to a larger audience makes the human factor all the more evident as well, because if a bunch of hardened horror genre enjoyers play a horror game, then you're not going to get as much of a reaction. But when you have people like me who are not used to this sort of thing, then the scream and genuine panic are all the more funny.
Yeah, we'll be right behind you guys. I have the flashlight. I don't want to lose it. Go ahead.
They just look at each other.
Whatever.
He's in there. What's it?
But of course, you won't get this panic unless you tear away that security blanket known as your friends. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, I made it! I made it! I made it! I'm so alive! How do I get back? How do I get back? This looks like the right direction. Is that the ship? That looks like the ship. Let's go! I did it! I made a heavy breathing. I made it! I live! You jerks! No! Open the door! I got stuck! Plenty of people have praised Lethal Company's proximity chat, and although I do agree it's pretty good, I honestly think it's a bit too forgiving. Maybe people are starved of good proximity chats that react to the surrounding environments or something, but to me, there were several times when wandering around the buildings that it was actually hard to find myself far enough away to be truly isolated from my friends. That's a minor critique, but what about those times when you are truly alone? The horror factor ramps up to 11, and the moment you can no longer hear your friends, the sense of isolation in these dark corridors allows the mind to dream up the horrible ways in which you could die. Even after figuring out what the monsters all look like, this is still something you'll have to deal with. You know how you can die, you know what the monsters do, and once you're alone, you're nervously keeping your head on a swivel, waiting for one of those gruesome deaths to get you. This helps keep the game interesting, even for those who have played the game more than others. There are still times to feel scared and reasons to fear for your life. Guys, there's a monkey out here. Oh, tree! Tree! Giant tree!
What?
Tree!
Be quiet.
The fear for your life is also compounded by the fact that you are, in large part, defenseless. You can get a shovel for self-defense, and I'm sure there's other weapons available in later game, but I never really made it that far, so I'm not certain. But if there is a monster, your only recourse is to either avoid it entirely or else learn how to not die, and each monster requires a different approach. Some bugs will hang on the ceiling or jump on your face. Others will attack if you push them into a corner. Others will murder you the moment you lay eyes on them. Uh-oh. There's some place on the ship that I'm sure gives you a bunch of information on how to deal with these beasts, but I ain't about to read, so everything I learned about these monsters in this game came from my friends who did know a thing or two. If I was left on my own to learn their patterns, I probably never would have. There are some clear indicators, and the game does give you some information. I'm just lazy. I should whack the slime. Yeah, have you seen a slime, Snake Boy?
No, I don't think so.
You know, over here you went? Yeah?
Yep, over here.
Can you kill a slime with a shovel?
No.
There's two mines.
Probably one of my favorite monsters are the dogs, or at least that's what I call them. These are genuinely terrifying every time I see them, and they're also one of the most hilarious creatures in the game. The premise of these dogs is that they are blind and hunt by sound. They are also always outside of the building, which is where you, I guess, less expect to run into creatures, so placing them outside makes them all the more scary because you never quite know if one might be roaming around the open woods, or I guess just open space, generally speaking. By crouching and shutting up, you can avoid them without any issue. But here's the thing. Due to the nature of the game, and that human factor I keep talking about, you want to chat to your friends, especially as you make your return trip to the safety of the spaceship. This means you're probably chatting it up out in the open, and if nobody notices that there's dogs around, you're screwed. The funny thing about these dogs is when one person knows that they're there, but another person does not. Naturally, once you know that they're around, you want to shut up so as to not get yourself killed. At the same time, your chatty friend won't shut their mouth, and if they keep talking, then they'll get you or themselves killed. You are honking that horn! I was going to rip your throat out.
Hey, I can't help it that the game just loves giving me clown horns.
This results in a rather interesting balance of warning your friends while also keeping yourself safe. Perhaps more than any other monster, this is the kind of creature that tempts you to offer your friends as a sacrifice, because if they die, they won't be talking anymore. And that's the other thing about Lethal Company. It fosters trolling, especially with new players.
What's that?
A disc.
That is a mine.
What are you talking about?
No, you can pick it up.
That is a mine, dude.
Yeah,
No, you
mines
pick it
are
up.
worth a lot of money.
Step
Yeah.
on it.
Hello? See, it's fine.
Yeah, see?
No, if he steps off it, it's gonna blow up. Step off
No.
it. Step off the mine.
I need you to come here. I need you to like.
No.
Wait, you're stepping on it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
it's gonna blow up when he steps off it. I saw
No.
Green Arrow. Xander, it's like Green Arrow and Malcolm Merlin. If he steps
No,
off it,
no.
it's gonna blow up.
When I step on it, if you have to come over and deactivate it while I'm stepping on it. I promise.
Yeah, but he's
I
gonna-
swear. I swear.
Okay,
I
I
swear to you.
believe you, but say he's not gonna step on it.
Making your friends die in humorous ways and feeding them false information on how to deal with creatures can be quite a good time. And the horror environments makes the new friend want to trust the experienced player to avoid all of that horror. You want to trust them to keep you safe, but Lethal Company makes it all too easy and funny to stab the new player in the back.
Xander, come out. I want to show you this cool item I got.
I want to see it.
I don't trust you.
Oh, you got a ladder.
Oh. But the brilliant thing is that the new player can stab back just as hard. If their more experienced friends get them killed 2 seconds after landing on a planet, then rather than wait 10 minutes for them to be done, you can vote to leave. And if you do, then the ship will automatically take off after a certain amount of time.
No.
Oh no.
Get on, Nick. Get on, Nick. Get on.
No! This counterbalance to trolling makes the whole experience much more enjoyable and helps prevent straight up bullying, because now the experienced person can't troll every step of the way, but can only do so in microdoses, or else risk the dead newbie forcing them to leave planets early, preventing the team from reaching quota and ending the run preemptively. This also gives some control to the dead person, and if the dead friend doesn't want to take their revenge, they can at least enjoy spectating those who are alive, which can at times be even more fun than actually being alive. Now you can witness your friends panic and scream while shouting directions to them from beyond the grave. Sure, they can't hear you, but you shout at them anyways.
Hit the button. Hit
The button!
So, yeah, I think.
Is Craig gonna do it?
Hit the button! No!
I- he was
Hit the button!
Would have been nice.
Hit the button! Another factor that goes into trolling is how money works in this game. You need a certain amount of money after 3 days in order to not be fired. But at the same time, you can spend that money to purchase handy tools like flashlights and walkie-talkies. But you can also spend that money on other things. This
Never
is
gonna
Lethal
give you
Company
one.
right here. This is definitely something.
Yes. This is peak content.
That's what that is for sure. So while you are trying to stay on track and keep everybody alive, your friends are busy buying objectively useless stuff. Cats.
Yeah. Hey, what's a toilet?
And yet, it's okay. Somehow there is a certain charm to purchasing these things and plopping down a romantic dinner for two in front of your friends who just risked their life to scrounge up a few petty pennies is an experience all unto itself. The people are the ones who make this game what it is. Lethal Company is nothing more than a catalyst for friends being goofy with one another, and that's why it's become so popular. But no game is without its flaws, and I can't help but mention them. There are a few potential issues I found that could hurt the longevity of this game. There were only 2 primary issues that I found, which is astonishing for a game made by one person, but the first and biggest one is just how quickly I got used to everything. When I first started, I clung to my friends like glue, but after growing accustomed to the dark corridors, I learned that the monsters were few and far between, and it was easy to rummage through an entire facility without even running into a single beast. And so, there were many times I freely sprinted through these buildings without a care in the world, and this ruins the horror aspect of the game. If I'm not afraid, then Lethal Company is no better than an endless fetch quest. How could you fix this? I'm honestly not totally sure. Increasing the rate at which monsters spawn wouldn't necessarily make things better because you do need to be able to survive, and if you're constantly running into monsters, then they become less scary. Scarcity can make monsters much more frightening. But I think it makes sense to try and add a few more monsters or else mechanics to the existing monsters that make their presence known earlier in the game. Oh.
Yeah!
Hey, Billy.
What's up?
Oh, hey, Winston.
Hey, what's up?
How are you guys doing?
Oh no!
This could be as simple as adding a sound effect of feet stomping that's distinct from the players, or some sort of groaning or growling. Some creatures already do this to an extent, but there's a need to make the player feel more uneasy about blindly running through dark corridors. Maybe even a countermeasure where the game notices if a player has been running in the dark for a long period of time and moves or spawns a monster nearby, or else plays some sort of freaky sound to make them think that there is a monster nearby. In fact, I really like that idea, adding an effect to scare people who sprint in the dark. The only other critique I had was that all the planets started feeling quite samey. The exteriors were almost always exactly the same, with maybe a few random objects spawning in slightly different places, but finding the facility was never an issue after visiting a planet 2 times. I'm not saying getting lost is ideal or better, but adding a little more oomph to the exterior to keep players from beelining the front doors would make the exterior a little more interesting. The interiors had a similar issue, with them being pretty much the same thing every single time. They are procedurally generated, so maybe the layout is different, but overall the feel is exactly the same. There's some mansion that mixes things up, and maybe some updates will come out adding more variety to this, and the whole game was made by one person, so it'd probably be unfair to expect a vast variety of locations, but even so, I think the game would benefit greatly from some more variation in appearance, and with how creative the monsters are, I'm sure that there's plenty that you could do with the environment to make the environment just as dangerous as the monsters themselves. But that was Lethal Company. Let me know if you've enjoyed the game or if you're the few remaining holdouts. It's definitely worth your time, and it's fun analyzing a video game made by one person and how it succeeds over these massive AAA titles that bomb. Right now it feels like the new Among Us, but with some tender love and care, maybe it'll remain relevant for even longer.